Hi, welcome to Making All the Plans. I'm Connie, and if we haven't met before, I'm a busy mom of two active kids, and both my husband and I have full-time careers. My goal is to share with you how I stay on top of all life throws at me in one planner so that you might be able to do the same. The day that I am working on this, it is International Scrapbooking Day, so I grab my scrapbooking paper and some washi tape because I know I won't have time to actually scrapbook this weekend. I also have this Essential Quotes sticker book from Happy Planner, some dot markers, and my Muji .38 and my Friction '07 pens. Let me move this stuff out of the way and we will get started planning the week. I did change up my planner packet a little bit. I'm no longer printing 7 daily sheets every week. I start with my prayer list, I have my tasks pages, I have my weekly spread, and then I have my review page. And then after all of that, I have daily sheets just hanging out behind because I use them most days, but not every day. So it seemed wasteful to print out enough for every day of the week when I wasn't necessarily using them every day. My plan for the scrapbooking paper is to rip enough to have them in the corners and maybe along the bottoms or the tops. And this is thinner scrapbooking paper. It's probably maybe 20-pound, 25-pound paper, so it won't bulk up my planner too much. I feel like the heavier stuff just really adds a lot of thickness to my planner. And I'm also going to grab the Colorful Boxes sticker book. Since I am putting down a lot of scrapbooking paper, I want to be able to still write on them, and the way I'm going to be able to do that is by using the stickers over top of the paper. I do have 3 of the Colorful Boxes sticker books all collated together on a ring. I like to be able to see what I have left of each color. And I do try to use the top sheet of the 3 first so that I can possibly make it through all of one sticker sheet before moving on to the next. It is not working out for me very well, so I don't see that happening. I like both of these sheets of paper, and I definitely like how the two different patterns go well together, but they are very different. And then I'm just using my ATG tape gun to put the paper down. This is definitely not a necessity, but I am a scrapbooker as well, so this larger tape gun comes in handy when I'm doing lots of scrapbooking pages in one day. It definitely saves a lot of time when I can just refill a large tape roll once instead of having to refill the little one over and over again. It also is less waste, so I like that too. This first sticker that I'm putting down says, "Don't stop believing in the good." And I do like to try to pick quotes that go well on my faith page, and I thought this one did. I also liked how it went with the colors. So I liked that cluster up in the top, and I decided that I did want to bring a little bit of the paper along the bottom as well. If I were leaving these in my planner long term, I probably would have limited the amount of paper I was adding to each page. It really does start to add up if you put a piece of scrapbooking paper on the bottom of each page of your spreads. So since I take them out weekly, I was okay with bulking them up a little bit more than if I were leaving them in. So I'm not sure I would necessarily put these on monthly pages, even though I really like how it looks. But because I keep my monthly pages in my planner, I don't necessarily want that extra width or heaviness or thickness in my planner long term. I also decided that I would use this green skinny washi tape just to break up some of that scrapbooking paper. It just seemed a little much of the same thing. So I felt like this little bit of washi tape helped break that up and bring in a little bit more visual interest. And once I put that green washi tape down, I decided I did not like the teal box anymore, and I wanted to switch that out for a green box. So I do go ahead and pull that up, and put down a green box instead. And I just think it is more cohesive on the spread than the bright blue box, which is what I like. And then I'm going to go back in and rip down this sheet of paper just a little bit more. And then I'm going to rub off the extra adhesive. Usually, if you get to it right away, it comes up pretty easily. So if I were scrapbooking, I would be making sure that my lined paper faced the same way the whole time throughout my entire spread or whatever collection I was working on. But since this is a planner page, I am going to let that go a little bit. So on this page, I am going to do it horizontally instead of vertically. And the other reason for that is even though I have two sheets of this paper, I really only wanted to cut into one. And I wanted to make sure that I had a flat edge on one side of the paper, so that's why I am grabbing my paper trimmer to make sure that that side is straight. And sometimes when I'm using my tape gun, you will see me put the tape on the spread itself, and other times you will see me put the tape on the extra paper that I'm going to adhere to my page. And there really is no rhyme or reason. I just try to make a decision on which way would be the most precise application of the tape. So here I am putting it on the bottom since these are 12 by 12 sheets of paper that I'm starting out with. If I had run the tape across the tape would have then overlapped the extra space, if that makes sense. So that part that I just cut off would have tape on it, and I was trying to avoid that. If I don't necessarily know where the paper is going to fall, I will put the tape on the back of the piece that I am adhering down so that I get it on the piece of paper that I actually want to adhere instead of missing the spot that I actually need the tape in and then having to rub the extra adhesive up. So hopefully that makes sense, but really it's just an initial gut feeling on whether it'd be easier to put the tape on the paper that's going to be pasted down or on the spread itself. Hopefully that wasn't too horribly confusing. Now I'm just going to spend the next couple of minutes paper tucking and getting this to look the way that I want it to look. So as I'm putting everything together, one of the things that I have open next to me is my computer with my Google Calendar showing so that I can kind of start processing what all needs to happen this week. And if you haven't caught one of my last two videos, maybe one video, my son did get his license. So he's able to drive himself to soccer practice, which is just great. But of course, that brings on other stresses of being a parent. But I am very excited that I'm going to get a little bit of my time back and not having to run him into town for practice. And I usually just stayed due to the distance that it would take and time it would take for me to get home. So I would just stay there and either work in the car or run errands or go for a run or a walk. But now I can just either stay home, stay at work, or do whatever else I need to do during that time. That being said, I thought that this week was going to be a quiet week. Instead, this is when the soccer tournaments are kicking up, as well as the end of school activities. Both kids have art shows on different days at different schools, so that's going to be interesting. And then my son has to go to the art show because it's a grade. My daughter, I don't think does. However, I would like to go see the art, but we'll see if we can make that happen. At least if my son needs to go, he can drive himself because that is a day that I do have to go into work. But again, I would like to go see the artwork. But before I keep talking about my week, I did want to mention this black washi tape. It is completely not needed, and I tried the green, it didn't look right either, but I liked it when it went against the stripes, but now that it's going with the stripes, it was kind of a waste, but I did go ahead and just leave it there. Now I'm going to start laying out my week, and I'm just going to put the skeleton down, and then I'm going to go off camera and finish filling everything out. It does take a little bit of time to do this, so I don't necessarily like to sit at my desk the whole time. and I need to look at the calendar and the ideal week and just try and figure it all out and map it all out. So it does take me a little bit of time to get this looking right. And last week I went too much off of my ideal week and didn't actually figure in real life, if that makes sense. So I wasn't able to follow it as closely as I would have liked to. So almost every day I was completely redoing it. So I prefer to have it somewhat down and figured out in this stage, and then only making minor tweaks for my dailies, if that makes sense. And then the only other thing that is going on this week, besides work and all those just normal things, is that my son has a soccer tournament this weekend. Thankfully, it is in town, but it could be Thursday night, Friday night, maybe, and then Saturday and Sunday. Since it is in town, we do have that possibility that we might have a game on Thursday or Friday. But if you're out of town, I think it's a Saturday or Sunday tournament. So we'll see what happens. Normally, I do leave space in the bottom for my making all the plans tasks as well as my home tasks. I think I'm just going to do the making all the plans tasks this week and then fill in the home tasks on my daily sheets. So I just cut these longer sheets of stickers in half, and I'm just going to tuck them in different places and alternate the colors. I did try to make sure that the bottom end was tucked underneath, but that first one that I laid down didn't quite go down far enough and I struggled getting it under the paper. So I did just go ahead and leave it. It was a little messed up, but it's kind of hard to tell unless you know that it's there. So I figured I could live with it. Here I did pull back the washi tape to tuck that end under the washi tape, but I think it worked out pretty well. I do end up only having one of the pink left. So I had 7 days. I had 2 greens and 1 pink, and I needed one more color. So I did decide to go ahead and pull in some black for that last box. And I do like that they ended up being somewhat cattywampus. I either like my stickers straight or crooked enough where you knew that I was trying to make them crooked. But when I sit down Sunday night and lay out the rest of my planning and my meals and all of that stuff, this is the section where I will write in the making all the plans tasks that I plan on doing this week and when I plan on doing them. It will be a little difficult since I don't have a schedule for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but I do know that I will have some time since it is in town. So I will just go ahead and sketch in some approximate plans. And I could have left the spread just like it is, and it would look good, especially once I put my actual plans in, but I couldn't stop there. So now I need to work on my sidebar. And that top box I usually use for meal planning. The second box I usually use for errands. And the third box for this week is going to be phone calls because I already have a list of phone calls that I need to make. And they're fun grown up phone calls like dealing with health insurance. So wish me luck on that one. I am going to use my Chrissy Ann Designs stencil, and this is the 5mm stencil. I do like how close the lines are together on this stencil, and I'm just drawing in lines for all 3 sections here. I like my writing to be straight, like I like my stickers to be straight, so the lines definitely help me do that. Now I'm going to drop in some boxes just for headers, one for errands, one for menu planning. And then the other thing that I do like to have on my spreads, even though I don't do it every week, is I like to actually put that it's May and the date range up in the upper left-hand corner, just so it's an easy visual to see what week I'm on. And originally I was just going to put in a box or two, but then I decided that in order to break it up from the other boxes and lines that I have going on the sidebar, that I would go ahead and put a little bit of paper up there just to ground those stickers. So after I get the little piece of paper down, I do put the green box down to write May in, and I also grab and put down a little black box so that I can just note the actual dates that were on this week. I did go ahead and write the dates in small next to the days of the week, but I just like to have that visual up there in the upper left-hand corner. And since my Kelly Creates pen was sitting on my desk still, I did go ahead and grab that just to write the date, and that is the 08. And the tip is just so nice and luscious. And then I grabbed the 05 to write in dinner, and then also errands. I feel like I'm overdoing it a little bit this week with the decor. I did decide that I would also put some washi tape up at the top. I really like this green washi tape. It's not quite a lime green, so it's not in your face, but I definitely like that brightness when the paper is a little bit more dull and moody. But I definitely think that it is showing up a little bit more bright on screen than it is in person, but I just like how it breaks everything up a little bit and brings in a little bit more of that brightness. And of course, once I got the left side done, I didn't want to leave the right side alone, so I do go ahead and add some paper to the right hand side. And I wasn't quite sure how much to put over here. I probably should have just put a little bit in the corner like I was planning on here. But then I also wanted to bring some of the lined paper up here in the top margin. So I did end up going a little bit more paper heavy than I had originally planned. I did go ahead and bring this in at a diagonal, not quite a vertical, but that is very different from the bottom. I liked the way that it looked better in the vertical position. That's why I went ahead and did it that way up here at the top, even though it is horizontal in the bottom. I just feel like it brings more interest to the stripe, if that makes sense. But I'll go ahead and get this extra paper trimmed off, and then I will run the washi tape across the other half of the page, and then we can get back to some actual planning for this week. I am really enjoying how this planner page is turning out, especially since I am not going to have the opportunity to participate in the International Scrapbooking Day weekend. So this is the part that I took off camera. I did just copy my Google Calendar over to start, and then as you can see, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are still left open, but I feel like I have a good plan for this week and it's all color coded like it has been in the past. I will link to a video in case you want to see a longer version of that. Now let's move on to our tasks for the week. I am going to just decorate this box up here in the upper right hand corner. I still haven't figured out what exactly to put here, so I think I'm just going to put a quote or two and then remind myself that a lot of my time this week will be spent on Launch with Mel Robbins. So I am working through that program, and on top of that, I am also doing all of my regular job as well as working on my passion project, which is this YouTube channel. So I am just going to rip some more paper and get it put up here in the upper right hand corner. I apologize for doing so much paper ripping in this video, but I was really just having fun and enjoying some supplies that I haven't used in a while. So thank you for coming along with me on this journey today. And then we'll get a little washi tape going on top as well. Bring that slice tool back in to trim off at the edge. And then I'll bring in a box so that I can put it over top of some of this paper and just be able to note that launch is going on this particular week. And then I'll also try to find a quote to go in this area as well. I did grab a green box to go in this area. It is slightly different than the other green box that I chose, but it's okay because there are two different colors of greens in the paper, so I'm okay with that. I did decide to go ahead and pull the sticker that says "You are enough," but I don't love that it's clear given the fact that I have covered up so much space in that box with paper. And what better way to solve a paper problem than with more paper? This time it is sticker paper and it's just white sticker paper. I'm going to go ahead and put this "You are enough" quote over top, and then I will just trim around the quote just like it was cut out in the book. So I'm going to just get as close as possible to the clear sticker that I put down. And if you saw me testing before, like poking something through the backside, I have been struggling trying to figure out which side was sticky. So instead of guessing, I did just go ahead and use my poker tool to pull up a corner just to figure out which side was the sticky side. And then you'll see me using the poker tool again just to pull the backing off. That makes it so much easier for me. I have the hardest time getting the backings of the sticker paper off. So I'm going to put this down. I'm going to put the launch sticker down. I will write launch in, and I'm just going to use my erasable friction. Even though I had other options, in case I mess up, it would just be easy to erase. Then I decided I didn't like how much white space was up there, so I grabbed one more quote, and this one says, "See the good in all things." And I really like how "good" in things has all the same colors that the paper also has. So just a little bit more paper ripping. I promise this is the end of this. I did want to just put a little bit of the stripe down at the bottom of this page, and then I will tuck in a little bit of the other pattern paper in as well. And since I missed the paper just a little bit, I am just rubbing off that extra adhesive again. It's very easy to do again, as long as you get it right away. The easier choice for this paper would have just to be put it over top of the striped paper, but I did like how it looked better tucked in. I feel like this paper is very busy, so it's better just to see it in little bursts instead of a big area. I think the striped is better at calming the eye than that abstract floral that I have as well. Then we'll finish it off with the washi tape. I have also been using the washi tape to kind of draw a line under the name of my goal before I actually get to the tasks for that goal. So I am going to go ahead and repeat that again this week. You do have to rub the washi tape down before you cut it with the slice, which is the only struggle that I had here. Once I smoothed out the washi tape, we were fine. I will grab my Kelly Creates pin again and write in those big goals. So making all the plans, personal, and home are the three goals that I am working on currently. I do have a more long-winded version of each one of those in my journal, but for here, I don't want to write that out every week. And I know what these big categories mean when I put them at the top of these columns and what tasks belong underneath them each week. So this week for making all the plans, I'm working on 3 videos. I would like to work ahead a little bit, but given the schedule, I will flip over here in a minute and count out how many task blocks I actually have. But given the schedule that I have this week, I don't know that I'm going to be able to get ahead. Hopefully, soccer will give me a little bit more leeway, but we'll just have to play that one by ear. Then I have 3 Instagram posts. Hopefully, I start working on those, working on my comments and just getting back to people and emails and things like that. 3 task blocks for that. July content calendar and my master course that I've been working on. And that is in addition to the launch course that I'm doing with Mel Robbins. For personal, I am going to be a little more realistic this week about what I want to accomplish, and that is just a weigh in 3 strength trainings and 2 runs in a yoga session. I have been driving my daughter to school in the morning, so that's been messing with my morning routine a little bit. So the 2 days that I drop her off and go straight to work, I'm just going to take out those strength trainings until school's out. I think we have 3 weeks left of school, so I will go ahead and revisit that when school ends. This will be fine since I have also been really sore after workouts for pushing it too hard. So if I just do strength on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that will be fine. My big project or task for the home area was my son getting his license, and he was able to do that. But my husband and I need to find a vehicle for my husband, and then we're hoping to expand our driveway. So, just a few tasks that will go along with that for this week. So, let's flip over and count how many task blocks I actually have scheduled out for making all the plans tasks. As I'm counting, I come across 25, but again, that is no blocks for Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, and I'm sure I'll be able to get something done. But I'm just going to start by writing my making all the plans tasks down here on this list. And again, I'm struggling with how to use this the best way. This is the HB90 planner, and I like it, but I don't like that I'm writing the same list 2 times. So I haven't quite figured that out yet, but I did write my 3 YouTubes, my 3 Instagrams, my comments the 3 days, as well as the 2 other items that I have, which are the July content calendar and my master course. I'm going to write all that out and estimate how many time blocks I will need for each one, and a time block is a half an hour. So for each of the YouTube videos, I usually put 6 hours. I'm trying to keep better track of how much time I actually spend, and so I can get a better judge of how much time each type of video takes. But I have 25 task blocks mapped out for the week and 33 that I actually want to get done. So I'm going to have to do some balancing there. That's what that is telling me. Now I'm just going to flip through, make sure that I have everything ready, and then Sunday night I will come back through and fill in the rest of the gaps. So we have our faith page for the week, our task list and task block breakdown, and then my general weekly spread. I know this was a bit of a long one, and I may have cut out what you wanted to see, so let me know down below if I included what you wanted to see or if this video was too short or too long. I hope that everybody has a great week, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.